Why do you think it was?
Because it was multiple shots. It wasn't just that, it was like automatic.
And then there were more shots. And so that's was a clarification that I had, and I just wanted to share that with them to make sure that they understood that.
And he begged me, please let me go to my brother. And I told him he can't. And he begged me, please let me go to my brother because they were raised together. He was a father figure to my son when I wasn't around.
We have to do something. We have to take them out, or they might come back.
It took more than 4.5 years for Richard Montez's case to get to trial, but only 4.5 hours for the jury to convict him.
The jury find the defendant, Richard Montez, guilty of the offense of capital murder.
Then it's going to be a $0 fine, and it's life in prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Justice for my baby.
Angela Medina's 14-year-old son, Angel Guevara, was in his father's kitchen when the fatal round struck him, an apparent stray from the hail of gunfire that also killed 69-year-old Benito Gallegos.
I'm never going to see what type of man he was going to become, or have a wife or kids or a job. 3 men ended up charged with capital murder. 2 agreed to plea deals last year, while the third, Richard Montez, was supposed to go to trial August 1st. But key prosecution witnesses weren't available. And since the judge denied his request to delay the trial of the 4.5-year-old case, the special prosecutor asked it be dismissed instead, intending to refile. I was like freaking out. I was telling the lady, like, y'all screw me over. Y'all gonna let him go.
With no charge to hold him on, it meant Montez was released from jail, leaving Medina worried about what would happen.
I still feel that way, like he's gonna leave or something. I don't know, because like, how do you give him a chance to get out like that?
But the special prosecutor confirmed to KSAT that on Tuesday, a grand jury indicted Montez again in the same case. Welcome news to Medina.
I won't have my full relief until he's after trial, till he's behind bars, and I know he's going to prison for what he did.
The other 2 who took deals, Andres and Juan Martinez, were sentenced last month to 22 and 24 years in prison. But since that happened while there was no charge against Montez, lawyers involved in their cases told KSAT the pair don't have to testify like their deals had required. How that will affect the case against Montez, still to be seen. Gary.
It was called for August 2nd for a jury trial. At that time, the state filed a motion for continuance. I believe the defense objected to the motion for continuance. The motion for continuance was denied. And then the state filed a motion to dismiss. The court asked defense if they had any objections to the motion to dismiss. And the defense said they did not have any objections to the motion to dismiss. And the court signed the motion to dismiss. So at this point, the court will hear argument. Defense, it's your motion, so you can proceed first.
I'll remain seated, Judge.
Yes, thank you.
Now, this case against Richard Montez is not new. As we know, it's a February 2018 case.
And just so the record can clear, that was before this court's term, this judge. All right, thank you.
Did not take the bench until 2019.
Thank you.
And we do recall that, Judge. And this case was dismissed because the state was not ready. They asked for a continuance. It was denied. They re-urged their request for continuance. It was denied. And so it was subsequently indicted. In the re-indictment, there's nothing new in the indictment. It is a different indictment, but everything within that indictment, the new indictment, are merely lesser included offenses that the state was going to be able to ask for in the first case. In the first indictment, there was a number of allegations. Every single one of those allegations in the new indictment could have been pled as lesser included on the first case. So there's nothing new in this case. The state is not tendered. They've not said that they have any new evidence, any new witnesses. They've not made any argument that that's a reason for this delay. Now, the final factor, whether his constitutional rights have been violated, is whether he's been prejudiced. And prejudice should be assessed in light of the following interests, which the speedy trial right was designed to protect. To prevent oppressive pretrial incarceration, which he has testified that he has been in custody, in segregation. And so he has certainly endured oppressive incarceration. Also, to minimize anxiety and concern of the accused, which he's testified it caused him anxiety, it caused him depression, even after this case was dismissed. And also to limit the possibility that the defense will be impaired. And we heard from, and so most significantly, Montez has been prejudiced as a result of the state's willful delay.
Judge, I am the second chair, and I guess I've been elevated to the first chair on this case. I'm not sure why the defense counsel feels the need to attack Mr. Nahara. I don't think there's any dispute that the lead detective was not in the country. They certainly not brought any evidence to contradict that, yet they seem to feel the need to repeatedly try to attack him, and somehow insinuate that the things that he's saying are somehow not true. And yet they don't really bring anything to contradict the fact that the detective is not in the country. They had an opportunity to object to the motion to dismissal, and they did not object to that. When we look at the length of the time and the things that have been going on, there are a lot of things that have been going on, but it's not really, and that's why I asked the court to take judicial notice of the fact that many of these things are outside of really anyone's control. The pandemic was an issue that came up that no one really expected, and no one really was able to anticipate until it arrived, and we had to deal with it.
All right. So I have listened to both arguments of both sides. I've heard your evidence, and I always internalize everything that I've heard. The motion is denied. This case is going to start. Let me see what date. I believe it's November 29th with jury selection on that day. And then testimony will begin on the 30th. If there is any videos that anybody's going to object to, that I need to see beforehand, please bring them to me on the 29th so I can watch those videos and not have the jury waiting. Okay.
Judge, I think her written statement is a bit unclear. She initially talks about hearing shots and then going out and then seeing more shots. And so that's why when we talked to her, she was able to clarify what that meant. I mean, and so there were earlier shots and then there were more shots. And so was a clarification that I had, and I just wanted to share that with them to make sure that they understood that.
But again, Judge, having an open file policy does not give me notice they intend to use that unless they give me notice, and the notice was given yesterday.
It's the same transaction.
It's
404B applies to extraneous acts, not the acts that apply to the same.
Why are you giving me 404B notice of it?
All right. So here's the thing, everyone. We're not going to talk over each other. We're going to be kind and courteous to each other. I understand that everybody is representing their viewpoints. I'm here to hear your viewpoints and just make a decision. So with regards to your motions, this is what we're going to do. Today, as everyone knows, we're only doing jury selection. That's it. So what I'm going to want from each party is I'm going to want a copy of that video. I'm going to review it. Mr. Montez is going to have to go back because I don't want the deputies to have to transport him back this evening. We're going to be here late. I'm going to review that video, and I'm going to hear all your arguments about the motion in limine. I'm going to hear your arguments about the 404B and what should and should not come in. So we will do that at that time. But the motion for continuance is denied, and we will go over this 404B step by step. And what I need to know from both parties is what I've just been handed, the 5 statements that are in here. I need to know if somebody has said that in detail in their statement that was given to the defense. I need to know that. And then after I know that, I will make my decision, an informed decision on whether or not this should be excluded or not. And defense, I understand your argument that you're supposed to have notice of 404B, and it doesn't matter if it's in somebody's statement or not, you were supposed to be given notice of it. I understand that. But what I want is each one of these statements that they were given notice of, I want to know if that's already been tendered to them in this fine of detail through someone else's statement. And then the court will make its ruling on whether or not this is excluded or not. So when we do jury, we can go off the record, Brenda. So with the jury selection in this court, I don't believe I've had any of you all for jury selection.
I think Kelly's maybe said.
So my understanding is that, is there a request for an hour each side?
How many panel members are there?
90.
90? We would request 75 minutes just because it can take a little longer to go through specific because it's not 65 people. So I just ask for additional 15 minutes.
Okay.
I talk a lot.
All right. Well, just to make sure that everyone, when you're talking, you remember the court reporter. And we're going to make her life easier today. So I will give you all each that time. And the way I do voir dire is I will give an introductory statement. Please listen to my introductory statement because sometimes I've already asked questions and maybe you don't need to re-ask them. You can concentrate on other things. So the state will go first and they will have that entire time. Then we will take a break. Then the defense will go second and you will have that entire time. I don't call back 90 people. So if there's something you want to raise with the juror, you need to raise it then and there. There's not to be a strikes in front of the panel. We do that afterwards. And if you all can confer and see which persons you all can agree on, then let the court know. I'm usually pretty liberal with following your agreements with regards to that. And we will have 4 alternates. And just so you know, the deputies will make sure that your client is transferred through a way that is not seen by jurors.
When do you hear the first shot?
I'm not sure what time it was. I know it was kind of late because we were already laying down, me and my daughter. When I heard the first shot, I got my daughter and I covered her to make sure the bullets weren't coming in my home.
And where is your bed in relation to your window?
Well, my bedroom was in the back. It was in the back because my sister, and then it's the restroom, and then my room.
Okay.
And then you can see everything from that window.
Which window?
From my window,
Okay.
where I was sleeping, you could see everything in there.
From your window?
From my window, yes.
And when you hear the second group of shots, what do you do?
I do the same thing. I get my daughter and I humber her, like I cover her because she was just only a baby. Like I didn't know where the bullets were flying or anything.
And at any point, did you look out the window?
The window, I did look out.
When did you look out the window?
After I hovered my daughter, because like when I hovered, I was looking out to the window and I see they're like just flying like at the street. Because you know how it's Angela like this, and then what is it, Picoso, on like going the other way. So the bullets were going that way on Picoso, not Angela walk. It was going the other way.
And just so I'm clear, when you hear the first set of shots that go out, do you look out the window or do you stay inside?
No, I was. We're looking out through the window with the police on the phone.
So when you hear the first set of shots, you're looking out the window, what do you see?
I see Anthony and the 3 boys. I mean, and the 2 boys.
So you see Anthony and 2 boys?
Yes.
Had you ever seen those 2 boys before?
Yes, because they live right across the street from my sister.
Are they younger or older than Anthony?
They're way younger than Anthony.
So when you see them out, you see the defendant out there with his 2 friends. Did you see, were they holding any weapons or doing?
They did have weapons on them.
And handguns, rifles, or do you remember?
The second shots, I believe it was like a rifle or something because it was a loud bang. But the first shots, they were like handguns.
Why do you think it was?
Because it was multiple shots. It wasn't just that. It was like automatic.
And so the second time you were shooting, when did you look outside?
When we looked outside, after the shooting happened, after the gunshots happened, like we looked outside and we see all 3 of the guys run inside. And then when we hear the cops come, we run to the back. My sister runs to the back and she sees the ambulance and she was like, someone got hit. So after that, the cops questioned us and they asked us, do you know who it was? And we told them we do.
Sustained.
The first time you heard shots, could you see what they were shooting at?
No.
About the second time.
The second time they're shooting on Picoso, like shooting towards Picoso Street.
Was there anyone in their path?
There was a car that pulled up. There was a car that pulled up that I seen with my own eyes. It pulled up and I don't know what was going on, but I know Anthony walked up to the car first and then the little boys did. And then I know the car, when the car took off, Anthony went behind that car and started shooting at that car.
When you saw this, was your sister somewhere else, or was she with
No,
was she with you the whole time, or at some point was she with your kids on the floor?
yeah, the first time she was with the kids on the floor and the second time. So she didn't get to see the car or anything, what was going on.
So I think you're going kind of fast, so just sort of explain to me. So when you say that your sister was on the floor,
Covering the kids.
so where is that in relation to the window?
It's my room. I mean, it's the window and then my bed. And then on the side, there's a closet. So she was right there and like by the closet hovering the kids.
Earlier, when you said that she was with you the whole time, she's in the room with you,
Yes, she's in the room with me.
but she's not always standing right next to you.
No, she was with the kids.
I think that was the misunderstanding for me. And so when you see them shooting, your sister is where?
Hovering the kids in my room by my closet.
By your clock.
Yes.
So she wasn't looking out the window. And when they're shooting, how many shots can you hear?
Multiple, a lot. Not just a couple, there's a lot.
Where is that in relation to where they were staying, 928 Angela Law?
They were across the street by the dumpster.
Now, when you said that he was shooting down the street, which street? We're talking about this street right here?
In Picoso, yes.
So shooting down that street. And where was he shooting from?
By the dumpster.
And where were the dumpsters?
Right across the street, right here on Picoso.
That somewhere over here?
Yes, right there where that white car's at. That one right there. Yes.
And then you could see him shooting down the street?
Mm-hmm.
And was anyone shooting with him?
Not that I seen. I just seen him.
And at this particular time, your sister is still on the floor.
Yes.
And they're shooting down the street. You said there was another car.
Yes, there's a car.
And how many people were in that car?
I'm not too sure how many people were in that car.
Did you see anybody get out of that car?
No, I see nobody get out that car. That car pulls up and I don't know what's going on.
Sure.
I don't know what's going on in that car. Well, when I see it take off, I see Anthony in the back running towards that car shooting on Picoso Street.
Now, when you said that car approached, how close did that car get to the defendant, Anthony?
He walked up to the car, him and the other little two boys.
So when you said you walked up to the car, I mean, he walked up like right next to it?
He walked up to it because it stopped, I guess, to ask him something or find directions or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But he walked up to it.
And did he do anything into the car, or did he reach in?
I'm not sure.
He walks right up to the car. Could you tell, was it just a normal walk, an aggressive walk, or could you tell?
It was a normal walk.
So he and his two friends walk up to the car,
Yes.
and then what happens?
And the car drives off. It drives off and Anthony's behind the car shooting at the car.
As that car is going down,
Picoso. Yes.
you recall how many times he fired?
No.
And what were the two guys that he was with at the time?
Who are they?
So what were they doing?
They're there. They're standing next to him.
Could you tell if they had weapons at the time?
They had weapons.
So after you see the defendant shoot at the car that's driving away, what happens next?
What happens next is that we see them run inside the house because we hear the cop sirens. So we see them running inside the house.
When you say running into the house, point to where you mean.
Okay, they're right here. They're right there. After they leave from right there, they come all the way this way and then they go inside the house right there.
When they go back in the house, do they stay quiet or do they turn off the lights or what, do they do anything or can you tell?
I couldn't tell.
How long do you think it took for the police to get there?
Maybe like 5 to 10 minutes.
And during
Defense.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Rodriguez, my name is Kelly Piddle. I'm gonna ask you some questions. If you don't understand my question, let me know and let me finish my question, then you can answer, okay? You gave a statement that night on February 2nd, 2018.
I did.
Did you have a chance to review that statement prior to your testimony today?
No,
You haven't seen it?
No.
How many times have you talked about your anticipated testimony with your sister?
we haven't talked about it.
You only heard one round of shots that evening?
We heard 2 rounds of shots that evening.
Okay.
It was the first one we did anonymous call, and then it was the second one.
Did you tell the police that you heard 2 rounds of shots?
No, because we didn't call the second time. We already heard the sirens before we got to call again.
Okay. So did you tell the police in your statements that you heard 2 different rounds of shots from Richard Montez?
No, I didn't write it on my statement.
So it's your testimony that Richard was standing on Picoso
Yes,
when he was firing at the gray vehicle
yes,
in the middle of Picoso.
yes.
How many rounds did he shot from?
Multiple
10?
times,
Like
a
10?
lot of times.
You thought it was an AR?
I think so.
You could see it.
I couldn't see it, but it was something big and loud.
So you couldn't see the gun, but you could see the 2 guys in the vehicle.
Yes, I couldn't see who was in the vehicle, but there was a vehicle right there.
You didn't look out the window until you saw.
No, I looked out the window the whole time. There was the 3 men out. There's 2 little boys and then
Hit
Anthony.
yourself. You said 3 little boys and then you changed it to 2.
Well, because
There were
it's
3.
Anthony and then the 2 little boys. Anthony's not a little boy. He's a man.
That's not what you testified to. You testified that you saw there were 3 little boys out there. Isn't that correct? And then you changed it to 2.
Because Anthony is the 3rd person.
Anyone else firing a gun up Picoso other than?
Anthony,
Yeah.
yes. The first round,
Hold on.
everybody was
Hold on.
shooting.
You gotta wait for a question, okay?
I just want to be clear what we're talking about.
Okay.
Did someone type that statement?
No, I wrote the statement.
Did you sign it?
I signed it.
But my question is it typed?
Yes, it's typed.
Now, were you the one that typed it out? Or
No,
a detective typed it out?
yes,
Okay, just want to be clear on that.
Okay.
So even though when you say it's yours, you acknowledge that you signed it,
yes, I signed it.
but the detective is the one that sort of typed it up.
Yes, because I went to do a statement.
And then you told the detective in your statement, you saw the defendant shoot down the street.
Yes,
Sustained.
What is in your statement about the defendant shooting? Which direction?
towards Picoso.
You told detectives that he was on Picoso.
I didn't tell him he was on Picoso.
So you just told me that you told the police it was on Picoso.
No,
That's
I
not
didn't.
Your statement, is it?
I didn't write on here that he was on Picoso. I said I saw him shoot. They didn't tell me he was on. If they would have asked me what street he was on, I would have told him on Picoso, but they didn't ask me. They just asked me who was the shooter, who was there, and that's what I wrote.
So nowhere in your statement did you write or tell them that the shots were from Picoso. Correct?
Correct, because I didn't tell them. They didn't ask
Yes
me.
or no, ma'am?
No,
It's been some while. My stepfather's from San Antonio.
So did you move here when you were a kid?
Yes, sir. Just off and on. Back and forth.
Off and on, is that?
Yes, sir.
And I can only imagine how hard this is for you, so that'll, but we'll try to run through this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Federal, how many children do you have?
I have 11.
And that's a lot. How old your oldest?
Gonna be 23.
And how old your youngest?
He's 9.
And was Angel your son?
Yes, sir. He was my baby boy from my first marriage.
Talk to us about Angel.
Andrew was a good boy. Good in school, very respectful to everybody. It's sad they took my son like that because he wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was in the privacy of his home. And we were doing family things like anybody, that loves their family. My kids were always with me.
Let's talk about that, Sotero. Let's go back to, unfortunately, February 2nd of 2018. Who was at your house that night?
It's me and my kids.
All of them, or?
No, I just had it was my oldest boy, Sotero, John, Angel, Caterino, Ezekiel, and Serenity in the home.
And do you recall the address you lived at?
203 St. Christopher Walk.
203 St. Christopher Walk?
Yes, sir.
Is that in the Casiano?
Yes, sir, it is.
And was that right off Picosa?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're there with your kids, and did you have a girlfriend at the time?
Yes, sir.
And was she there as well?
She was there as well.
Had you guys been eating dinner or watching TV, or what were you doing?
We just got through having dinner, so we were all just laughing and carrying on in the house, just having family time.
And what do you remember next?
I remember standing in front of my kitchen window and hearing a bunch of gunfire. So I screamed to them to get down. My oldest boy was asleep in the living room. Andrew was standing at my refrigerator with his brother. They were talking. Like I said, we were all just talking. When I told everybody to get down, my son John ran up the stairs and Angel was right behind him. When I heard a loud pop, and I turned to look, and all that glass flew in my face. And I knew a bullet had came in because I seen the big hole in my kitchen window. When my girlfriend started screaming that my son was on the floor not moving and there was blood, so I crawled over to my oldest son that was asleep in the living room where he wouldn't get up and get shot too because there was a lot of gunfire going on. And I told him he couldn't get up because my son had been shot. And he begged me, please let me go to my brother. And I told him he can't. And he begged me, please let me go to my brother because they were raised together. He was a father figure to my son when I wasn't around. He had to go hold his brother, taking his last breath because they took his brother from him and from my whole family. I don't have no resentment toward anybody, but God forgive them. And may he ask God for forgiveness because God is the only one that gives mercy in this world that we live in.
Was standing in the kitchen by the fridge with his brother.
Yes, sir.
And then you start hearing gunshots. How many gunshots do you think you heard?
It sounded like a little war outside. There was that much gunfire. There was over maybe 100 rounds, if better.
And so then obviously you were scared and everyone was scared, I'm sure.
I was terrified, not for myself, for my children. There had been many times gunfire outside, but never like that.
In addition to pleading, did you plea as a party with other people?
Yes, sir.
And what other people did you agree that you committed the murder with?
Richard Montez and Andres Martinez.
Now, back in 2018, where were you living?
The Castellano Courts,
What address?
928 Angela Walk.
And who was living with you?
My mother, Andres Martinez.
But in terms of when you were out there, what additional traffic, if any, did you see?
It's a regular weekend.
And so that day, February the 2nd of 2018, or around that time, did he pass out any weapons?
Yes, sir.
Where did the weapons come from? I'm sorry, in terms of what he was carrying.
A bag.
So he had a bag,
Yes, sir.
and what did he get out of the bag?
Well, the firearms.
So he started passing out weapons out of a bag.
Yes, sir.
How many weapons did he give you?
One.
What about your cousin Andres?
One.
And how many weapons did he have?
Two.
What weapons, in terms of handguns or rifle?
One rifle, one handgun.
And where did he keep the rifle?
Inside my living room.
Was it by the door?
Yes, sir.
The front door?
Yes, sir.
So all three of you are armed with handguns
Yes, sir.
that night. In terms of the guns, were they loaded?
Yes, sir.
So close to midnight, all of you have loaded handguns. What happens?
Well, we go outside and we smoke. We're smoking, and this car pulls up fast near the dumpsters. I can't remember what the street name is called, but Angela and where to connect. And two elderlies, they walk, and they're walking in front of us. Well, Richard approaches them, starts talking, they start arguing, and then when I see somebody reaching for a weapon, I pull out my weapons and I tell them, we don't want no problems.
Hold on. First of all, you agree with me afterwards, after the shooting was over. How long were you in your apartment with your cousin and the defendant?
Before or after?
After the shooting, before you surrendered yourself to SWAT?
I'm not sure when they came back in. I'm not aware when they came back into the house.
You were there for 8 or 9 hours, correct?
Yes, sir.
And there you had the opportunity to talk about things, correct?
No, sir.
You didn't have the opportunity. to
Well,
talk?
we had the opportunity, yes, but
Now, in terms of what happened, this is your story, correct?
yes, sir.
Now, in terms of these two guys you said pull up, had you ever seen them?
No, sir.
And when they pulled up, what happened in terms of the two guys? What did they do?
They were just walking in front of our apartment.
They weren't making any aggressive moves?
No, sir.
They weren't flashing any weapons?
Objection,
Sir.
the leading judge.
Gotta be overruled.
Did you see anything on the two that made you think that, that they're dangerous, that they had weapons?
No, sir.
And so in terms of their walking, was there anything aggressive or suspicious about the way they walked?
No, sir.
So it was one guy and a much older guy.
Yes, sir.
And so they were just walking.
Yes, sir.
And what happened?
Him and Richard, them and Richard got into an altercation.
Who initiated the conversation?
Richard,
So these guys are watching, and what does Richard do as they're walking?
he approaches them and says, like, what's up? What do y'all want? Basically.
Because he's high on meth and he's aggressive.
Objection, the leading judge.
Sustained.
What was his demeanor like when he was asking these questions?
I'm not sure.
Did it seem like it was part of his continuing paranoia?
Yeah, it was just the same as had been for the past couple hours.
So these two guys are just walking by and then he confronts
Yes, sir.
them. What's he saying to them?
I'm not sure
Why is that?
because they're talking in Spanish and English and I don't understand Spanish.
But he is confronting them.
Yes, sir.
And then what happened?
They get into altercation and
When you say altercation, we're talking about words,
yes, sir.
so they're arguing.
Yes, sir.
And so what happens?
And then I feel like one's reaching for his waist, so I pull my weapons out and I took.
When you said reaching for his waist, at any point, did you ever see either of the two guys ever have a weapon?
No, sir.
A gun, a knife,
No, sir.
a bat?
No, sir.
So you're claiming you saw them reach for something in their waist.
Yeah, I felt like they were, yes, sir.
And so when you saw that, what did you do?
I pointed my weapons at them.
Weapons?
Yes, sir.
How many weapons did you have?
2 handguns.
So you pointed 2 handguns at them.
Yes, sir.
And what happens when you pointed 2 handguns?
I told them that we don't want no problems. Just leave or go to where you're going. And that's what they did. They turned around and started walking away.
In terms of Richard Ants, the defendant, and your cousin Andres, did they pull out guns?
Not sure. They're on my side view. I couldn't see them.
So you pull out your 2 handguns, and then what happens?
And then, well, like I said, they turn around and they start walking away. So I put my weapons away.
So you point 2 handguns at them, and they decide they needed to leave.
Yes, sir.
And so where did they go?
Back to the car,
And where was their car?
right in front of the dumpsters on that street in Angelo.
And as they're trying to leave, where's your cousin Andres and where's the defendant?
They're on the still on my side view while I'm watching these guys walk away.
And does the defendant aunt say anything?
That they have to do something because they're gonna come back.
When you say do something, you mean something like you have to take them out or something like that?
Objection to leading, Judge.
That'll be overruled.
Specifically, what did he say?
He said, we have to do something, we have to take them out. Or they might come back.
And who is he telling that he has to take them out?
I am not sure.
But Andres is with him, your cousin?
Yes, sir. They're both on the side of me.
So the defendant's saying you have to take them out, they're gonna come back. Have they done anything to justify any type of violence?
No, sir.
And so he says you have to take them out, they're gonna come back. Did they do anything to make you think that they were gonna come back?
No, sir.
So after the defendant and his cousin, your cousin are on the side, he says you have to take them out because they're gonna come back. What happens?
Before I can even look their way or say no, chill out, or finish saying no, chill out, shots were fired.
When he says that, does he approach them?
I'm sorry.
When he makes that statement about having to take them out, what does aunt and your cousin do? Where they start heading off in a particular direction? Or do they stand there?
They were just standing there, or that I could tell from
When did they start moving toward where the 2 guys?
when the shots were fired.
So as shots were fired, they're moving toward them.
Yes, sir.
And when did you see them draw their weapons?
I didn't see them draw their weapons.
But you knew they were firing.
Yes, sir.
How do you know they were firing?
Because it was right next to me.
You hear them
The
fire.
sounds, yes, sir.
And could you see them with their hands up?
Not right there, but when they were walking down, yes, sir.
All right, so later down, you saw them with their hands up.
Yes, sir.
But you cannot let your bias, sympathy, or prejudice play any role in your deliberations. You can't go back there and say, I don't think the state has proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt, but man, a 14-year-old kid died. Can't do that. Your job is to uphold the Constitution and to hold the state to their burden. And if you do not believe that they have proven this case beyond reasonable doubt, regardless of the deaths, then you must find Richard not guilty. Now, you heard testimony that Juan Martinez, Andres Martinez had pled to this case. You're not to consider the fact that they pled these offenses as any evidence of guilt towards Richard. Okay. The only thing you can consider is that Juan Martinez agreed to testify against Richard in exchange for his plea, in exchange for what he got. Now, evidence is what you're in that witness stand. These photos, all these exhibits in this cart right here, that is evidence. Okay, there were police reports that were marked. That you will not get back. Can't ask for any certain police reports. The only evidence that be brought back to you is the evidence that you can consider in this case. And now, lastly, your main job as a jury is you get to judge whoever takes this witness stand. You are the sole judge of their credibility. So you heard what Juan testified to yesterday and the day before. You get to judge what he told you and whether you believe it or not. You get to judge the testimony of Brianna and Isabel Rodriguez, the daughters of the ex-girlfriend of Richard Montez, and whether they told you the truth or not, or whether what they believe they saw was the truth or not. So you get to judge their credibility based upon what they testified to. And so I'm going to sit down and I'm going to let Orlando address some substantive issues. Thank you.
Morning. Like Mr. Piddle, Kelly said, we thank you for your time here. It's been very important. Kind of felt like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Judge, but as I walk up to the courthouse, I feel like throwing up. Right, this is a very serious case. We can't change the past. Nothing's going to bring back those two people. Only thing we can do is make sure that justice is done right, and that we uphold the Constitution, that we hold the state to their burden. And the state is right. This is somewhat of a simple case. And the evidence is pretty clear as to what happened here. It's going to require you to look at that evidence and kind of consider, as we go through it, what happened that day. And so, we understand that there was 2 bullets in this case, right? And 1 gun that caused the death of those 2 people. And Richard Montez didn't fire those fatal shots, right? We understand that he didn't fire those shots. Now, as I said at the beginning of this case, you have a profound power and responsibility. Your decisions should not have emotion that take into effect of your deliberations. Your job as jurors is to look for reasonable doubt. Now, the truth is not always clear, right? The truth, as we know it, is sometimes mixed with falsehoods. Falsehoods either because of bias, because we want to see things a certain way. The truth is sometimes mixed with falsehoods because we're trying to protect ourselves. Sometimes it's because of mistake. Eyewitness testimony, we're going to go over that a little bit, is sometimes wrong. What's typically not wrong is science and what the evidence is. And so the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt what the truth is, right? And we talked about that. And so how are they going to do that? They brought you witnesses. We're going to go through the list of those witnesses and what they did and what they didn't do. I want you to go back to the jury room and say, could they have done more? Could they have brought us more information? Because I assure you it was out there. I assure you they could have done that, but the state failed to do that. Now, the sister's testimony was incredible. They said some things to us, right? That first question, not a fan. Immediately, that tells you what? Bias, right? Already know that these individuals do not like him. They stated that Richard was the only one in white. Stated that the shooting was in the middle of the street. That the Castellano courts aren't dangerous or not a high crime area. They said something to that effect. And we heard testimony from witnesses that counter each of those statements. First off, we see that Juan Martinez is wearing white. Richard Montez is not the only person wearing white. Not only is Juan Martinez wearing white, he's covered in GSR. Now, there's no evidence of shots fired in the street. This is the diagram that they took of all the evidence they collected, right? And so there's pictures. There's over 200 pictures. There's casings. They closed off the streets. They took pictures down the street of Picoso. They didn't find any casings. And allegedly, Richard Montez was running down the street with a rifle. We know that did not happen. We know that he did not fire a rifle. And if you look at that diagram, you'll see a pattern of shots, and we'll go over that. But there's a pattern. That pattern tells you a story, right? Because when people are moving and they're firing shots, they leave a trail. And the state said in their opening statement, a trail of bullets. They weren't speaking about a trail of bullets in the street. This is the trail of bullets they were speaking about. Now, they brought you CSI Officer Patton, who collected the evidence, and there was other people. She was in charge of collecting that evidence. She told us the Cassiano courts are a dangerous area. It's first witness to say that. She was not the only witness. It actually sounded, as they brought us other witnesses, that they target this area. This area takes up most of their time. That contradicts what the Rodriguez sisters were saying. Now, why would they say that if they weren't trying to mislead you? She said she would have done the trajectory rods differently because if you look at them, they don't seem to be in the proper position. She said that they need, 2 points. And so I asked you, if you look at those pictures, to not use those to determine exactly the position as to where those bullets entered, right? She said she would have done those differently. And I don't believe that evidence is credible. They could have done line tracing, and that would have been from where shots were fired, and they could have taken lines from each area of where those shot casings were. And they could have taken a line all the way to the window of 203 St. Christopher Walk. And they could have excluded areas in front of 928, in front of 930. They don't collect data to reconstruct that shooting, right? So they don't collect the height that's to what it entered. They don't collect the angles to which the bullets entered into any of the buildings, into the vehicles.
All right, if the defendant could rise. The verdict states, we, the jury, find the defendant, Richard Montez, guilty of the offense of capital murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. You may be seated. You may be seated, Mr. Montez. Defense or state, do you wish to have the jury polled?
No, Your Honor. Yes, Judge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you if this is your verdict. If this is your verdict, I need you to respond yes. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll start here and work our way down, then go to the back. Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
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 Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
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 All right, thank you. All right, what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have you retire back to the jury room and I'll meet to speak with you there. And then the alternates, you're able to go back to the jury room with them as well. All right. All right, everyone, please rise for the jury. Mr. Montez, with a finding of guilt of capital murder, the punishment is life in prison without possibility of parole. Do you understand? All right. State with regards to a fine, I'm assuming you are not, well, I don't want to make an assumption. Are you asking for a fine?
We're asking for the court to just do whatever it takes to.
All right. Then it's going to be a $0 fine and it's life in prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorneys? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right. Because this was a jury trial, you do have a right to appeal. Do you understand? And your attorneys will go over with the timeframes for filing a motion for a new trial or filing a notice of appeal. They'll let you know what the timeframes are for that. And counsel, of course, as you know, if someone needs to be appointed to the appeal, we will sign that. Is there anything else from either side?
I think the mom wanted to make a victim impact.
Okay. All right, have her come forward. All right, Mr. Montez, What happens now is a family member will have something to say to you. What I can tell you is in the 187th District Court, it's been a long day. In the 187th District Court, I require that everybody be treated with respect. I don't care what you're charged with or where you come from. I require all parties in the courtroom to treat everybody with respect. So she will speak to you respectfully and just internalize it, okay? All right, thank you. Casting.
I just want to tell you. I felt my heart and my soul leave my body. And then for you to drag me through this again, see him laying on the floor like that. That was my baby. We had plans. He's never gonna have a wife, never get married, never gonna do none of that because of people like you. And it's not a bad neighborhood, it's a bad neighborhood because of people like you. This was his last 14th birthday. And I was out there with him at the Castellanos. We played football in the backyard. You ruined my life and my kid's life. You ruined my son's life. And took everything from me, everything. Just wanted to do stupid stuff. It only ruined my life. You ruined Mr. Gallego's life. You ruined them 2 young boys' life. My kids. And then to see my baby laying on the floor, and there was nothing I could do. Nothing. Then when I had to unplug him, took my life too. And I hope you think about that every day that you're in there. I don't get no more Christmas, no more birthdays, no more nothing. Nothing. And I left it in God's hands, and God took care of it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Just one moment, please.
That's a judge.
All right.